Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Lewis. This is the Re-Evolve Media Revolution podcast, where we interview hip hop artists from across Canada because, among several other mostly related things, that is what we do. This episode features Rainbow Glory. If you told me a year ago today that I would be hosting a podcast that is currently on its 20th episode, I would say, could be. A few months after that, the answer would upgrade to, I hope so. And then just 3 months ago, that answer would be, episode 20, damn, we're mad behind schedule. The point of mentioning this is that this podcast itself started as an idea and has taken a life of its own that could not have been predicted. I want to say that it was my idea and that I've been the driving force behind it, but that just isn't true, as the podcast has affected me as much, if not more, than I have influenced it. It's absolutely crazy to think about as I look back how I envisioned things would be now and how the reality of it kind of met me in the middle to an extent. Through this, an old quote is refreshed in my mind. It comes from Mahatma Gandhi and goes, "Whatever you do will be insignificant, but it is very important that you do it." Now, a lot can be interpreted from this quote. Where you stand in life will very much determine what you hear from it, but I want to reiterate what it means to me right now. Every action that I do comes before one action and after another. When compared to the entirety of my life, this action may seem small, even smaller when I consider the actions of all humanity. But without it, there is no before and no after. A paradox. I know that might sound a little convoluted still, so I'll make it even more palatable. An abridged version of the Mahatma Gandhi quote, "Do you, boo-boo, do you, boo-boo, do you, boo-boo." All right, everybody, I'm here with Steven. He goes by Rainbow Glory. He's out of Saskatoon. How you doing, Rainbow Glory?
Good, man. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show as well. So just to get started, actually, your name presents itself as something fairly unique. So I just wanted to bring to attention how you landed on the name Rainbow Glory.
So Rainbow Glory, I don't know. It's kind of, if you got a dirty mind, it's kind of funny. It's a kind of play on words. But realistically, when I was first embarking onto rap or hip hop music, especially freestyle, I wanted a good name, and I kind of did a little spiritual thing. I said a prayer, I lit a candle, and when I lit my match for the candle, there was a rainbow halo around the candle. So it was something that kind of piqued my interest. So I Googled rainbow halo, what that was, and it's actually known as a rainbow glory. So that's something that's seen like in the sky all the time by pilots. It's like a sundog, or like the way the light refracts rather. It makes a perfect rainbow, but in a perfect circle sort of thing. So that's known as a rainbow glory. So I took that as my rap name.
That's awesome, man. And so since you started with that name, that's really, really cool. And it is a pretty unique and not commonly seen phenomena. Yeah, as you describe it, a circular type of rainbow. And so that's really cool. You landed on that name sort of organically or almost spiritually.
Yeah.
How have you seen that name sort of take form since when you first landed on it up until its point now?
Well, the thing that people say about it, like, it's all about fan feedback, right? And what
For sure.
the main thing I get back from the fans is that it just has a good ring to it. It's just Rainbow Glory, Rainbow Glory on Spotify, Rainbow Glory on YouTube,
Rainbow Glory on the stage.
on the stage. Welcome, Rainbow Glory, everyone. And people, they get excited about it. Like, it's one of those names that kind of gets lost in translation, where it's just like fun to say,
That's awesome, man. And
Yeah.
so from landing on it, was there any point in time you were like, maybe something else, or did you just kind of stick with it and run with it?
Well, no, that was like the first thing, and I stuck with it and ran with it. It was really
That's
good.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
So roughly when was this, or what got you to the point to being where like, okay, I need to put a name on the brand that I'm going to be releasing music under? What got you to that point?
Well, the biggest thing was when I first embarked into rap, realized that everybody had avatars, and it's kind of like a character building or character development exercise.
For
So you
sure.
have your rap avatar. I was going as Chosen One 1 million for the first little bit, but yeah, that changed when I wanted to pick a name that really defined myself, refined who I was as a character, and ultimately with my music and my my pilgrimage in being a musician. I wanted it to really stand out and represent me, and so yeah, the Rainbow Glory was kind of the thing that's like a lot of fun and it's in your face all at the same time and it makes people happy when they hear it. So that's just the one that I stayed with.
That's awesome, man. What was that first name you went by? Chosen One.
Chosen One 1 million.
Chosen One 1 million. For how long did you roughly go by that under?
That was about like 2 months or whatever. Like the first.
Okay, so it was a quick transition.
Yeah, it was. It was a quick transition. It was the first time I was on open mic stage, and I battled another MC who was going as Just Dave the One, which is kind of funny because it was two chosen ones, named chosen ones, and we were battling. But yeah, after
was
I
that
lost,
your entrance into the scene?
Yeah, that was my entrance into the scene. And after I lost that battle, then I decided to change my name. That's kind of play on words, but yeah, it was funny.
That's awesome, man. And then I'm seeing, is that the same Just Dave that's in a lot of your material?
Yeah, so as I say that I threw the battle, but you know he begs to differ. But anyways,
For sure.
yeah, because I was showed some good sportsmanship in the battle and let him win or whatever it was. He decided to collab after the fact, and now we made a small group. Actually, a year ago, we just passed our year anniversary, called Definitive Collective, and we've been working together, producing tracks together, working on stage together ever since.
So roughly everything we've talked about has happened within the last roughly year and 6 months then?
Yeah, give or take.
That's awesome, man. And this journey has, ever since the beginning, it has ties to where you started. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's been good.
Also, in your recent history, you've dabbled into photography as well. That's kind of one of your side hustles. How does that play a role into your musicianship?
Well, the biggest thing is like just setting the premise, like who am I? Like in today's day and age, it's not just being like the artist that's a glamorized artist. Like to be famous or to be musician famous, so much is concentrated on social media and who the actual person is, and because they can follow you on all your social media hubs, right? So if they want to see me as an artist, as a person, as like somebody who's doing stuff, not just the avatar, but you know what else is going on in my life, like I do boudoir photography and other artistic photography works. And it just shows that my level of artistry as an artist, that you know I'm into these other things and I put out this other content and I make a little bit of money on it, and you know I'm not just another musician. I'm actually a refined character, a refined man, an actual man in the world.
He's multidimensional.
That's doing stuff.
That's awesome, man. And so, do you separate these avatars pretty concretely? So, Steven the photographer and Rainbow Glory the artist, or sorry, the rapper.
Yeah, I try to a little bit, but a lot of it's crossed over all the time. Once you start building a loyal fan base, then they get into all your ins and outs and everything that you're about, because they just want to follow you and you know, like, sorry the term, but worship you as a human. You know, it's kind of that's how it goes. That's what it is, like scientifically. But they're like, oh, you know, this person, whoever it is like, you know, just amazing in what they're doing in their life, and I see them as an inspiration. You know.
For sure, you take on sort of the role of an idol or a mentor.
Yeah.
Maybe not directly, but just even an inspiration.
Yeah, just being a signpost, you know.
That's really cool, man. So would you say, given what you know now in that respect, like keeping the two identities sort of separate, but do you find them coming together into almost not being separate at all in the near future, or do you think that's happening already?
Yeah, like as far as my loyal fan following goes, they're not really separate, but in like
they're not concerned about the separation.
Yeah, in all eyes of the business, like each business, how it's run, like the paperwork and everything, the two entities have to be separate.
For sure.
For me to keep track of my books, you know.
No doubt, man. So is it the two entities? Those are the main focuses of your life?
Well, that, and I'm also a mechanical engineer. I finished my degree at the University of Saskatchewan.
Oh, man, that must keep you real busy.
Yeah.
Do you do full-time work in that field?
Not right now. Right now, I'm just driving skid steer for like part-time work, but I'm just like going out on another venture to start fish farming, actually. And so all my engineering like expertise is going into building a farm.
That's really cool, man. How'd you land on that?
Well, it was like this whole thing with COVID. So, like with my rap, I did a daily freestyle show every day during the social distancing, social quarantine, or whatever that we've seen here in Saskatchewan for 7 months. And I didn't get like built a fan base and did all right, and that was kind of good. But I figure like where the real cash grab is, or where the real money to be made from this whole situation is in food, in food security and food development, because that's the next thing. Like I don't know if I've had COVID or not. I've been sick, but I've gotten over it, and a big part of getting over it is just drinking my water and like staying healthy, eating healthy, exercising, the regular things you need to keep yourself healthy, boost your immune system, so I figure that if I'm going to go out into the world in this current day and age that it is, I'm going to go and make food and try to keep the world healthy that way.
That makes sense, man. Not only setting yourself up for success in the eventuality or possibility of yourself getting sick, but also providing the resources and kind of, as you said before, or we said before, mentoring and showing people that that is a potential method for the future in not guaranteeing your health, but securing at least a more healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, and who knows? Like, I mean, if we have a zombie apocalypse come next, that at least I'll be secure in the food department. I'll be growing my
For
own
sure.
food. I'll have this big ass farm where I can bank on.
You'll have something to offer in the post-apocalyptic
Yeah,
society, something to
exactly.
barter and trade.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. And I love that you bring up the potential of a zombie apocalypse, because who knows the eventuality of what 2021 will bring, right?
Oh man, I think a lot of people are scared, and a lot of people don't know, and they all, people out here, they always fear the worst. So it's kind of play on words. I heard that from a lot of different people, that zombie apocalypse is coming next. We're gonna get the T virus or the rage virus or God what have you.
For sure, for sure. And it's funny because you hear about all those extreme possibilities, but then on the other side of the coin, you hear about the people who are it's completely on the back burner. It's not even relevant to them at all. It's almost like
Yeah.
it's just another day in the life, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that was with the freestyle shows, doing that every day, because I find if people can get their mind off the panic situation or the fear or the paranoia, just relax and be entertained for a minute, then all of that stuff goes away, at least for one moment. And then if you can grasp that concept, then you know that you can heal if you do get it, or you can overcome it. There's hope in the world.
That's true. And then it goes back for setting yourself up with the food and the healthy body, healthy mindset, is that if you, instead of focusing on the things that are dragging you down, if you kind of focus on some positivity and distract yourself into other aspects of life, we can move forward much faster.
Yeah, yeah, we can get over this thing.
Exactly, exactly. That's awesome, man. I love your mindset in that. So let's go to your actual music releases. Most of them actually stem from this year, 2020, where you put out a 6-track EP or mixtape called "This Shit Is Golden."
Yeah.
That was earlier this year, right?
Yeah, that was like my first ever creation in music.
Yeah, and so what I'm seeing from this project is, or let's talk about what your mentality was going into it, because it seems like it is a lot of freestyle based content, and it just seems like you wanted to obviously establish yourself as in your identity as Rainbow Glory and put yourself out there. But what was this to you?
So the biggest thing was that, like, when you're setting out into the world to be an artist or to accomplish any goal, like, you never know how it's all going to go down or how you're going to be successful, but you know that if you just keep working towards it, that eventually you will be. And the biggest thing was meeting Just Dave and the other guys at Definitive Collective. They really helped me get this album off the ground. I don't think I could have done it without them. Yeah, like the studio time, like figuring out all the ins and outs, how to work like a music program, stuff like that. They taught me everything, and they like helped produce the album. And then, I just did all the marketing for it. But I mean, putting it together, like Cummy One, the single on the album, that was a one take. Like, I had really tailored myself as a freestyle artist, to really milk the depth of freestyle. And so Cummy One, I did just one shot. The first time I heard the beat, I dropped the first lines on the microphone, and then we stamped it, and that was it. That's like out the door. And it's gone over famously. A lot of people really like it. And I mean, so that and a couple of the other songs on the album are all one takes. And it's good to be able to do that and put that together, but it's another thing to make it into an actual production and have it make money, have it out in the world and bringing back money to me instead of just being an awesome freestyler that can drop a one take. Well, how do I put something a one take out there into the world to make money? And these guys, my friends from Definitive Collective, they were the ones who helped me make it a possibility, make it a realization.
That's interesting, man. And that's not something that a lot of artists do, which is put out content that they actually do in one take. And because a lot of artists, what I'm finding is they stamp it freestyle, but then there's a lot of editing and mixing and a lot of, you can tell it's not necessarily a freestyle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's not bars from the top.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of your content, I can definitely tell, is those bars from the top, and especially "Come Me One" was one of my favorite songs on your collection. There, it's just a dope, fun freestyle. And it's the type of shit that it inspires you if you hear that at a party, or if you yourself kind of laid it down at a party. It kind of inspires other people to get into that freestyle circle or cipher mentality.
Yeah, it's so dope to be able to like not only freestyle bars, but to put together a whole entire song from freestyle, like do the hook, do the chorus, do the repeat, as well as come back to your verses that you're just, as well as tell a story throughout the whole thing, like have it progress, like from the beginning, where you're going to set it up, how things are going, set the premise, set the scene, talk about the story, get a little bit further into it, drop a chorus, and then let it explode, let it blossom, let it unfold to its climax, to its fruition, and come back to the chorus and then let it outro, And,
I love the way you say that. Yeah, it's the truth, man. And it sort of, in a sense, naturally takes its own life, right? You don't really like plan it out at all. It kind of, it's almost as though it existed before you said it.
Yeah, man. And it's the same exact thing about entrepreneurship or being an artist. It's like serendipity. It's like fortuity. Like I have to show my adversity to like overcome my challenges, but I don't know where I'm going to end up. It just comes together. Like you start going down a path, you start rhyming, start spitting bars, and then it starts to occur to you and piece itself together by the end of the song. And there's nothing like, it's like I can't plan it and I can't do it twice. It's like a complete fluke and it's just all serendipity. But, as long as you're working towards it, you got a good heart, you got your virtue, your mind is right, yourself is right, and everything else, it comes together.
Man, I love that. It's raw, it's natural, it's organic, and it stems from even how you chose your name, which I think is amazing, man. You just keep that rhythm and mentality to yourself, and it shows in your music.
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
Other than "Come Me One," were there any kind of standout staples? Well, actually, was "This Shit Is Golden" the track title of the album? The track from that I kind of might be one of the main staples of the project, is it not?
Yeah, it kind of is. Like I'm not completely satisfied with "This Shit Is Golden." Like in my own opinion, I don't like it as much as my other tracks, but my other friends and fans, they say they love it. They say it's it's a unique, like Saskatchewan culture-based hip hop song that you're not going to hear. You're not going to get this flavor in Miami. You're not going to get this flavor in Los Angeles because the culture's different, right? And so it's like, white boy from Saskatchewan trying to make some hard rap music in a very like unique artistic style. And so "This Shit Is Golden," the whole point about it was like the premise of how deep the empathetic truth of the universe is, that like you really can't do anything wrong. You can't, like, you can do stuff wrong to others, but I mean, like everybody goes to the bathroom, right? And everybody's innocent in that. Like for what some people might deem as like unsavory
Sinful
or foul is also like it, in all this empathetic truth is also part of your basic humanity. So like we can all blossom, we can all find love. And it was really my plight on racism, because people are like, well, we don't like this group of people because they're this, or because I've had this handful of bad experiences. But it's like, you know what, in all of that negativity, these are beautiful people. These are all like people who could eventually help you, or there's other disgusting things in your life or things that you don't like that can provide a benefit. And that's like why I was trying to say like "This shit is golden," not trying to point any fingers at anybody, but just trying to say that like you never know where your opportunities could lie.
I see what you're saying there, and I never noticed that layer, so I'm so glad you pointed out. I'm sure on another listen to I might have caught it, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love the depth there, bro, and the contrast. That's really, really dope.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole album was just trying to help people be the best that they can be. Like 0% beef. The whole point of it is like if you have beef towards something, if you can just listen to the song and let it absolve your beef, then you can get back to positive life, positive living, positive interactions with each other, positive inspiration, as well as like positive bank accounts. You know, if you can turn, you know, and like came through what I came through is like having strife in your life, having like negativity happen, but you turn it around into something beautiful, or you turn negative to positive, and then you know you're making money from the world, or you make lyrics, or you make a product, because instead of like being defeated, you know, by all the negativity that's out there.
For sure, man. It's so awesome that in your intro project you've got such concrete values established and displayed through the art form. That's great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the way that I described This Shit Is Golden, because how many tracks are on it as a whole? Because I found a different amount depending on where I looked.
Yeah, so it's like when it was first released, it was 6, and then I released more content later that,
I
you know,
see, I
when it got
see.
redistributed, it had more stuff on it. But yeah, like what would I say? Just 6. So I did a freestyle to 3 different beats, one including a heavy metal track, and then I
Yeah,
did
hip
try.
hop thrash.
Yeah, yeah, and then I tried to do what's it called? A trap song. Came through what I came through, and then This Shit Is Golden and 0% beef. My friend Z the Free, who's like out there in Alberta, she's a hip hop artist. She's rocking the scene. She came in and did a one take on that song as
That's
well.
dope.
She just like, I was like, we're gonna be in the studio today. Do you want to come through and help us out on this track? And she's like, yeah, I'd love to. And then she's like, I only have an hour, and so she came in, dropped a verse real quick, and then had to dip set. But yeah, after we stamped it and edited it, it turned out really good.
That's how magic is made, man, and that's the theme of your entire persona so far. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned it's kind of like it draws a different flavor from what people would be used to in other hip hop scenes, and I think that's a very vital fact to point out, because your project here as a whole, it's witty, it's charming, it's got lots of heart, and it's incredibly fun, all while still tackling those kind of major points that people should be focusing on. So I thought it was really great in that, Mark.
Yeah, our culture demons of the region, you know.
Exactly. And so you, before we take our quick intermission, we are at the 20-minute mark. You do have, actually, you know what? We'll take that quick break and then we'll get back to it.
Okay, awesome.
Dope, brother.
This track is by Rainbow Glory and his group, The Definitive Collective, and it is called National Reconciliation. Enjoy.
What's up?
It's a fact that it's rational. The graph was still built on stacks of killed Crete and black. Will that ever surpass the sheer flabbergasted reaction felt after the stats spill? It's nothing new. If we are integrated now, then one has to give it that to be true. Come on, how hard is it really to learn reconciliation? Not the word, but the proof. I got bets on Canadians and the nation, that anybody inside that's waited till now to raise a fist. Supporting no races is now about giving to impatience. Putting it down, hesitation, putting it down, smiles and waving. I'm cooking it loud, vibes are shaking, looking to ourselves and vibrate with what's took till now to say. That's it, I reckon that's it. Yeah, that's it, I reckon that's it, that's it. That's it, I reckon that's it. I reckon that's it. I reckon that's it, that's it. I reckon national reconciliation, I reckon that's it.
Out here, lost, got beer, got tossed. Live the life that I want, with no trouble in my lungs. Get up, to get fun, get a bluff, to get love. Get home, to miss dust, get Rome. to find God. Trying to live a best life, but still trying to find the divine. Rubble, trouble, and dust was created fine, but doggy dog, that shit's not mine. Get in the zone to love yourself. Get a truck to go far. Get a phone to find yourself. Get a fuck to know who you are. Get in the zone to love yourself. Find love. Get a truck to go far. Go far. Get a phone to find yourself. And give a fuck to know who you are.
I reckon that's it. Yeah, that's it. I reckon that's it. That's it. That's it. I reckon that's it. I reckon that's it. I reckon that's it. That's it. I reckon national reconciliation. I reckon that's it. Blasting will, packed and powerful raps at will. All in hopes that's what comes, that all of your domes just might actually have a chance at winning your attention before you wrongly pass a bill. Gotta practice your skill, and a hell of a lot more at it than the next addict across the hill. I'll tell you what I mean through some magic. Get at the kid after if that's what your reaction is. Unmask the lineage for what it is. Unclasp the cribbage board from your wrist. Only competition worth seeing me and you doesn't mean keeping score in the deep end. Now too late not to learn how to get back to shore. Hot showers till I'm sore, hot till I'm hip, or rock till it roars. We find our way back to the core.
All right, everybody. So I'm back with Rainbow Glory. Rainbow Glory, how you feeling, brother?
Good, man. Good.
Good to hear. So we just listened to National Reconciliation. That is off your second project that you released with your group, The Definitive Collective, right?
Yeah. So basically, we dropped 2 albums at the same time because in-house we have a beat maker that makes harsh noise or glitch hop, and then we have a beat maker that makes contemporary hip hop stuff.
So that's Bone Crate and Mibu Beats, respectively. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Dope.
So we had one album that's all Bone Crate beats, one album that's all Mibu Beats type beats. National Reconciliation is off the Mibu Beats album, first of many, volume 2, and it's more of the contemporary hip hop stuff. We wanted to release 2 albums, 2 of the different flavors, so that if you get both albums and you're feeling like you're having a weird day or an obscure day or you're having an emotional day, you can put on the glitch hop or the obscure hip hop to really get you in the funky zone, get you grounded or whatever. But if you're having like a relaxed day, you're just outside having fun, doing whatever, enjoying yourself, then you can put on the contemporary hip hop album. And that's First of Many, Volume 1 and Volume 2, respectively.
That's really cool, man. And you guys created this. It must have been in a relatively quick amount of time, because with under a year of experience, or just a year of experience in your belt alone, when did you get together with Definitive Collective, or when did you guys first establish?
So we first established November 2019.
Okay.
So
almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year. And we've just been, bucking the gun ever since, daily freestyle shows and putting beats together, trying to develop our sound. We put together a 10-episode mini-series on YouTube of an all eyes of reality TV of what it looks like for an artist to come up. So we have the episode of us as a group, just doing freestyling in the basement to like making it to substantial recognition as hip-hop artists in Canada, sort of thing. And that's the entire series, the gist of the series. And you can catch it on our Rainbow Glory or Definitive Collective YouTube channels.
I think just to put some insight into it, I thought the entire idea, itself was pretty cool, especially the way you're explaining it now, because in the show itself, you guys just give a ton of unfiltered insight into what you guys are doing in your journey together as a collective. And there's just like a ton of personality in the episodes. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great project. Like, it shows what we did to, get some hip hop artists on the street to do a street cypher. Take whatever gigs we can, including birthday parties, like kids' birthday parties as hip hop artists, and just trying to make a name for ourselves until we get recognized as like Canadian artists that deserve, stage time on a big stage. So with that, that's what we did over the last year, and developing our sound, putting beats together, refining our skills. And then we got to the point where we had some pretty good beats that we made, all on our own. We grinded out our following, SoundCloud and Spotify and everything else. And so then we wanted to put together these albums that's made completely in-house, no bought beats off the internet. Everything's generated by ourselves, and and that's what we did.
Just top to bottom, and like you guys are almost an entire production company for yourselves.
Yeah, so we got the publishing rights to publish our music. We own a small company. We own a label, Rainbow Glory, the rapper and productions, and yeah, we've just been grinding on it because this is what we want to do. And it was kind of funny when we first started doing live shows. It took us 3 episodes before we got a viewer, and we were all excited about a viewer. And now when we knock off 200 400 views on one daily show, that's a regular thing for us. But like, it's nothing to write home about, but I mean, for the fact of like grinding out the following and working towards something until you can build it is really what the testimony is. This is what we wanted to do, and so we just started down that path, and eventually we got to a place where we're pretty happy with ourselves.
Sure, man. Yeah, it's all about witnessing and appreciating those milestones and knowing that there's so much more to come if you put in the work for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We heard about the origin story between you and Just Dave. How did Bone Crate and Mibu Beats get in the mix?
So, Bone Crate was a friend with Just Dave. They were working on some projects together that were kind of took a long time to finish, but they were kind of always hanging in the background there. So, Just Dave brought on Bone Crate, and Bone Crate and I, we started doing, when we were doing the live shows for the COVID-19 quarantine to keep people entertained at home. Bone Crate was the one that was showing up all the time. He was doing freestyle beats from his cell phone.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, and his harsh noise and glitch hop. And of course, me being a freestyle artist, I trained to be able to freestyle on anything, and a lot of his noise is like no beat, no rhythm. It's all like obscure, so I just got to power through everything and just keep rapping as if it's an a cappella set. But at least we're banging out.
Itself.
Yeah, people appreciate that we're like generating it all ourselves. We're unique, we're original, we're just trying to make it happen, even though it's not always kosher, not always what you expect, or not always contemporary. But
so that's what it is, man. It's unfiltered. There's a beauty to it. I love it.
Yeah, and I think that's what people appreciate the most. But yeah, so Bone Crate and I doing those live shows every day, me getting his ass out of bed so that we could do this live show and rock the town, rock the neighborhood, and piss off the neighbors all at the same time. And that's where him and I developed the following. But Mibu Beats, once we got on the Raw Artists of Canada stage in Regina, Mibu Beats was at the show, and he works for a radio station in Regina, and he seen our stuff and he wanted to collab with us. He wanted to work with us. So then once we found out he was also a beat producer, then we brought him on board, even though he's like he's in the sister city, he's in Regina and we're all in Saskatoon. But we back and forth all the time. We Facebook chat every day. We talk about merch. We talk about album ideas, song ideas. We sample each other's tracks, and we had just always kept those communication lines along. He's been a big supporter. He was like he tuned into every live show that we put on, and so having him on board, even from a distance, we were still able to collaborate quite well. And then it just came time. It's like, okay, we've been a year doing this. We've been working as a group. We've been working together, focused on the prize. Let's make an album with each of your guys' beats, so that we can actually sample some of the stuff that we're doing together and showcase each other's talents and put it out there in the world.
That's great, man. That's really cool how you guys connected so well and were able to put out 2 projects very well as well. And at the same time, that's wild.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is that, it's not every day that, like, there's lots of artists out there, but not everybody can work together. Like how we all fell together.
That's true, man.
Like we all fell in each other's laps, and it kind of like it all worked out, and we can actually work with each other. Like sometimes people get at each other's throats, but it's nothing that nobody stays kosher about. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, whatever, sure. I'm mad, but I'm not gonna react, or I'm not gonna like do something rude or do something mean to screw each other over.
Sure. It flies over, and then you're back to where you were.
Yeah, and there's been opportunities for all of us to leave the nest and kind of sell out and follow our own solo careers. But we always kept the premise and the mentality, the mantra that, bring the bread back to the table. Like, go out in the world, be an independent artist, as we're an artist collective, find the bread and bring it back to the table and share with, all of us. We're going to everybody's going to do the same. So we're all going to work with each other, on each other, for each other. And that, we're going to always bring it back to the table because we can actually work well together, and that's a hard thing to come by in any entrepreneurship.
That's exactly it, man. And you're speaking volumes to the value of a proper team and how rare that finding one actually is. That's so cool. I'm very happy for you and your group, man.
Yeah.
And it goes to show one, I guess, of the benefit of it is you do have a following in both Saskatoon and Regina, and you're also performing shows both there and at home. So including tomorrow, October 25th, you've got a live show in Regina. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm performing for Mr. Jones and a World Peace Organization. I think they saw our live shows on Facebook, and then they decided to get us to perform. They needed a performer, but and again, like all the same in entrepreneurship, like if we weren't doing this thing, we wouldn't be at this spot now. And if during the COVID-19 quarantine, we were just sitting on our hands, like, or not doing anything to try to make productions or make money, we wouldn't be where we at now. We wouldn't even have this opportunity that I'm going for tomorrow.
That's so incredible, man. And so let's talk about the two individual projects as they are. So they're titled First of Many. You've got Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 being Bone Crate Beats, Volume 2 being Mibu Beats. Let's talk about kind of the difference in themes maybe, or how you guys settled on the lyrics for the tracks and how you wanted to approach the tracks, maybe even the titles for the projects. Because as I see it, it's very identified in First of Many, Volume 1, that it's you guys are definitely showing just a genuine love for expressing your talents and skills and mastering your crafts through discovering more of yourself through the process itself and through each other as well. So I was just wondering what each individual project meant to you.
Well, okay, so the Bone Crate Beats album, the Volume 1, it was all about, our experimental, our originality, like our music, our artistry that we can kind of put out there to the world. That's not defined or curtailed by anybody else's style. So
it's completely different.
Yeah, you have like very experimental glitch hop, harsh noise, harsh hop, noise hop kind of tracks that, with lots of different voice decoders, pitch changers, echoes, reverb, a lot of experimental kind of really offbeat, off rhythm songs that are meant to like give you a certain feeling or put you in a certain zone. Like for me to say that I'm an obscure hip hop artist is just like huge. It's something that I always wanted to be because, I was a big punk rocker back in the day. And so that was really the main focus of the Volume 1 is like, let's make something that's just purely whatever artistry that we want to attain or accomplish, like that's really just us. There's one song on the Volume 1 called Chronic Robot.
Yeah,
that we put together.
You shifts away almost entirely from the vocals. There's still vocals, but it is more focused on the beat.
Yeah, it's just meant to be trippy or give you a good feeling or give you kind of make you trip out a little bit, a trip out vibe while you're listening to it. And Bone Crate, he actually put together that entire song with his cell phone, like from the beat to, it's me a cappella rapping, and then he just took my a cappella raps and filtered it into the song in whatever style, and he did it all with like free apps on his cell phone. It's just crazy.
That's crazy.
So that was good. So that was that whole thing, and then we wanted to have an interlude of us talking about us and put, on each of the albums we put instrumental tracks at the end, so that if you want to learn how to freestyle or do some of your own freestyle with our beats, then our listeners have that opportunity.
Interesting. So the collective is inclusive then.
Yeah, exactly.
That's real cool, man.
But so then the Mibu Beats the Volume 2, it was more about, my bread and butter in hip hop because it's all contemporary. So like as far as hip hop is what's curtailed and defined by the OGs and what I hear from other hip hop sources, what I know about like the true hip hop culture, I wanted to lay that all down in the contemporary hip hop album, the First of Many, Volume 2. And so the first song is National Reconciliation, which you guys just heard. And it's just about, everything I've learned about hip hop is for everyone. There's no definition, there's culture, but, and there's, racism out there, but everybody does a racism throwdown. And a racism throwdown in hip hop is like talking about racism without actually being racist. That's the whole challenge of a racism throwdown. And so
without pointing the finger.
Without pointing the finger, because people analyze, people view things, people are judgmental. That's all natural things, but we got to talk about it too at the same time. So National Reconciliation, that was my our track on like racism and what we feel people are going through, whether it's whether you're on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence. Like let's see reconciliation, not the words but the proof. And we're going to stand up and say that we're the first ones that want to do that in whatever group or whatever strife there is, sort of thing. And so Just Dave in that track, he talks about it, what it all means and how it's all affected us. And we hear from all the different groups, what the main complaints are, what it becomes common knowledge. So we talk about that in our songs. But for my part in the song, I just wanted to talk about, what it is for a man living the life in Canada, being a person and what everybody goes through. Got beer, got tossed, want to live the life that I want with no trouble in my lungs. And I think that's the bare minimum that everybody deals with and everybody wants, no matter what. So if we can come at least to the grips that we're all the same, or we all desire the same things, then we can kind of see past whatever judgments or whatever racial tension there might be, right? But
yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah. But then the rest of the album was, what I really wanted to explore as a rapper, what I get from rap. So Cosmic Rapper is my song and one of my favorite songs. And it's about how freestyle and rap is really like not only you being culture guru or putting words together, it's you realigning constellations. It's you tapping into the universe. It's you like being as cosmically wonderful as you've been created to be, but realizing it all at the same time and feeling it and really getting into it and getting into everything, every like nuance or social culture definition or spirituality or cosmality that you could creatorship that you could ever like indulge into. And the rest of the album is the same. It's just us like being hip hop artists and putting out what true hip hop really means to us.
For sure, man. And one thing I was able to do as well, I drew a parallel between the two tracks you mentioned, actually, National Reconciliation and then your old track, 0% Beef. They maintained a lot of the same kind of themes and core values. And then as well as with Came Through What I Came Through and track you mentioned, Cosmic Rapper, it's really cool how not only have you maintained the same values, shown how you've changed as an artist from your first release, but you've also found this collective of people who also share those kind of core values and are able to exemplify them through the music as well, more so than you were able to do before, or more so or to the same extent. I'm just saying it's really cool how those values are still very evident.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said before, like if the values weren't there, we wouldn't get along. But these people, like we all just fell in our lap, like it all in our lap. It was all like serendipity, like that we came together. It was like amazing. It was so easy. It was just like you didn't even have to try, and then we're working together. And yeah, we got to look past each other's differences. But if we weren't like-minded on values or the same things about what we want to see in society, what we want to put out or be messengers for in society, we wouldn't still be banging out to this day. And I mean, we've only grown stronger. We've seen a lot of success, and we just want to keep going, keep moving forward,
For sure. That's so crazy, man. And so before you put out these two projects with them as well, and then after your This Shit Is Golden, there's a few single tracks I noticed as well, Share the Bank, Talents, Together. Were those kind of pre-collective, or?
Those were just kind of like things. They were like one-offs. They were like stuff when we were bored. We wanted to put this song together, like the Together track. It's about being together, but that was a beat that we won through a songwriting contest put on by Origin of Spin, who's another
dope.
Yeah, who's another artist blowing up in Canada, rap artist. And so we had the beat, and so we put together a song, and then it didn't fall under really any album. It was just like a random collab, and then we just put it out there on Spotify. Same with like Talents and Share the Bank. Share the Bank was done by Mibu Beats. Like we just sent him our a cappella bars, and then he put it all together on his computer and with his like little spin on it, and yeah, he made it like something trippy to listen to, you know, something cool.
For sure. What about Talents? That's also one of my favorite tracks.
Talents, yeah, I don't know, it just came together. That was Dave's project. He really liked the beat.
Such a trippy vibe.
Yeah, such a trippy vibe, and that he had the whole idea for the project, you know, using your talents to find balance. This is what we're all doing. The one thing we forget when we're feeling anxious or when we're feeling off balance is that, you know, we actually do have talents that we can use to put ourselves back in balance. And that was his thing. And so I said that I give him some bars. He just wanted me to spit on it. So then I did, and then we stamped it and put it out there.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah.
So you guys got together around November of last year, you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
And so
correct.
just in doing my research, I came across something in September of last year, and I was wondering if you were comfortable to talk about it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you were the subject of a missing persons investigation.
Oh, yeah. So that's actually a long story, but the gist of it is like I was...
Because this is just a couple months before you got together with the group, so I was wondering to draw a relation there. But yeah, sorry, go on. Sorry to interrupt.
So I went on an artist showcase actually to New Jersey and New York, and but my parents, like I said, that I'd be gone for a couple days. I didn't tell them I'd be gone for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I was in the States, and they didn't have, like, my cell phone wasn't working. I didn't have minutes, and I couldn't get across. I needed data to talk to them or Wi-Fi or whatever, and I couldn't do it on the American side. And so when I didn't like resurface after 3 days, they thought I was like gone. Right.
They thought you disappeared, yeah.
Yeah, and I went with this lady who owns a tattoo shop, and we were doing a tattoo showcase as well. And yeah, and we drove there all the way to New York. And so like when I resurfaced, like they knew that I was going to the States for an artist showcase. They thought that I got kidnapped or that I was gone or that something bad happened, right? But I resurfaced 2 days later, and I talked to my family, my sister, and they're like, everybody's looking for you. They filed a missing person report, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh my God. And so I had to like contact the local authorities and tell them I'm okay. Everything's all right. It was a misunderstanding.
How was that for you, realizing that people were searching for you?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was as big of a deal as what I heard. Like when I heard about it, they're like, yeah, everybody's looking for you. I was like, oh, well, I'm here. I'm
what do you mean everybody?
You know, I told you guys where I was going. I just lost track of like contacting, you know, the home base. But when I got back, it was like there was a police report, there was a news report, there was like all this stuff. And I was like,
you were just off doing your thing and had no idea what was going on back home. That's crazy.
No idea. They're making like all this publicity, and I was like, oh my. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I got asked about it a couple times, and I was like, oh yeah.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, I was actually okay. I'm quite capable. I can handle myself, but yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, sorry about the worry on all yous.
Just some over concerned parents at the center of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Totally fair. All right, man. Well, we are stepping into overtime here. I was just wondering about. I know you've got that show tomorrow, so all luck towards that. I'm sure you'll do amazing.
Yeah.
But what else is in the near future for Definitive Collection and Rainbow Glory?
So the near future. So we're gonna bring back the live shows because it looks like that. I don't know, the quarantine, the COVID might be getting bad again. So we're gonna keep pumping up the live shows, keeping everybody COVID-19 strong.
It's on Instagram Live, or
it's Instagram and Facebook Live. So you can catch us at Definitive Collective on Facebook. I think the web address is First of Many, or the Rainbow Glory, the Rapper and Productions page on Facebook. It'll be posted there, as well as Definitive Collective on Instagram. And we're just going to be doing live shows 3 times a week. We're going to keep them at 8 o'clock Central Time on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And so you can catch us, come out, see some freestyle entertainment, get entertained for a bit, feel better about the whole situation. We'll talk about those issues. We'll gab. We'll like put it into some bars, some rhymes, some realign, some constellations, and hopefully everybody who tunes in and is watching, can relax about the whole situation and move forward in making it better.
That's so great, man. I love where your head's at with everything and supporting the community and doing it through doing what you do best. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so we're going to end the podcast here. Is there anything else you want to say as a sign-off or anything just to anyone who's listening?
The biggest thing is follow your dreams. Like, okay, it's hard for people to figure out what they want in this life, but the first thing you got to do is figure out what you like the most or what you want to do or what would be the best thing that you could have. And then once you figure that out, then you got to figure out how are you going to get that? Because there's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of outlets that you can figure out how you're going to get the best thing that you could ever get in this life. So once you figure that out, then you just got to start working down the road. And I guarantee you, you'll find success. You'll find hardship, but if you can find adversity, if you can overcome them, you'll find success. So just pursue your dreams, follow your talents, follow your whatever it is that's going to give you the best, most satisfying life in this life. Pursue it to the nth degree, because the world is a very diverse place and there's lots of room for all of us to do whatever we want nowadays. So yeah, that's my final words. Be inspired and be ambitious.
Very, very well said, my man. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank
Rainbow
you.
Glory. I'm looking forward to following all of your content in the near future from yourself and your team as well. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take care.
All right, take care.
And that was Rainbow Glory. I hope you did enjoy the interview. If you want to learn some more about him, you can go on down to www.reevolvemedia.com/Rainbow Glory, spelt like how it sounds. And up next, we are going to listen to one of his tracks, also by the Definitive Collective, titled Genuine Engine. Enjoy and take care.
Break bread with the enemies.
keep the story complete while we're building the machine.
Concrete away.